Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Good shape. Right?
Yes.
Sure. All right, I will call this March 16th, 2021 meeting of Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to order. Would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. Director Miko, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel,
Here.
Commissioner Vogler,
Here.
Commissioner Boyd.
Here. Quorum. I will note that this meeting is being live streamed. It's being sent out to our YouTube channel for public consumption right now through April 5. That's the only way the public has of participating in these meetings. It's also being recorded internally for our purposes, compiling the minutes. That's why that microphone's there. That's why these microphones are here. I will note anyone wishing to submit public comment to the board may do so by sending me an email, subject line public comment, at mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. That's mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. Row officer reports and comments. I'm not seeing any row officers in the audience today. Public comments, like I just said, subject line public comment, so we know that it is a public comment, and mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. Fiscal and contractual, we have no advertising for bids or proposals, no receipt of bids or proposals. Fiscal reports, none. Report on quotes, none. There will be a vote. I believe we have a table right now for the Banks Covered Bridge project, but that'll be later on in the agenda. On that note, we have warrant registers dated March 10, 2021 and March 12, 2021. It'll be my colleague's minutes to review the warrant registers. I'm going to take a motion to accept and file said warrant registers.
Like a lot of foster parents
Yes.
in this group.
Yes.
I'll second Commissioner Spielvogel's motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Warrant register accepted. Up next, approval of the Tuesday, March 9th, 2021 meeting minutes. Again, I'll give my colleagues a minute to review. Then take a motion to approve the minutes or edit the minutes.
So moved.
Second. We have motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Presentation of written communications. We have one from Praxair Surface Technologies. A letter reads, "Dear Commissioners, this is to notify you that we are applying for the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection Bureau of Air Quality Control for the renewal of our state-only operating permit for our surface coating operations located at 595 Honeybee Lane and 593 Honeybee Lane in Newcastle, Lawrence County, Pennsylvania. A notice is provided in accordance with Section 1905-8 of the Pennsylvania Administrative Code as amended by Act 14 in 1984. I will note we quite frequently receive these types of notifications, usually as it relates to the Department of Transportation, Department of Environmental Protection. Under the law, the Board of Commissioners is required to be notified when certain activities take place within the County of Lawrence. We have no ultimate approval authority over these grants, over these permits. At the end of the day, we're just required to be informed in the event that we wish to submit public comment. But in that case, with that being read, I'll take a motion to accept and file correspondence.
So moved.
Second with a comment, if I'm in order.
Yes.
Just to clarify, the facility in question, they've listed it as being Newcastle, Pennsylvania, which would be their mailing address, but the facility is actually located in Wilmington Township. I'd like to make note of that for the record. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely, thank you. All right. We have a motion to second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have no proclamations and certificates today. Any staff reports here above and beyond what's already on the agenda? Seeing none. Commissioner reports and comments as I flip my agenda. Dan, you're first on deck today. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one note, that in our capacity as the Board of Elections, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we're required to conduct a process whereby candidates for public office draw to determine their position on the ballot for the spring primary. So that process will be taking place in this room tomorrow. Candidates have the option of either coming in personally to actually do the drawing, or they can send a designee, or if they aren't able to be here, and they're not required to be here, the election staff will conduct the drawing. I'm trying to remember when you two were on the ballot in your primary in 2019. Did either of you come here to do that?
I did for the primary. I don't think I did for the general.
No, the general, they don't do it because the general is based upon what place you came in the primary. And it's also based on party, based on who the governor is, his party. So since we have a Democratic governor, this year in the fall, the Democratic candidates will be listed first, as they were when we ran. And but yeah, this process only takes place during the primary election. It's an interesting process to watch. So Mr. Allison has it all pulled together, and just wanted to let folks know that'll be taking place. And there was the appropriate legal ad in the paper indicating that this will be taking place tomorrow. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
By the way, you know what it's definitely an interesting process. You know what my favorite election process is? It's a process for selecting a winner whenever a tie happens. Where literally they come in and they flip
You're
a
right.
coin.
Yeah, that's right.
Democracy in action.
Yes, flip a
Actually,
coin.
interestingly enough, I'm gonna go to a 2-minute tangent here. I think it was Virginia. I think it was either Virginia or, I'm pretty sure it was Virginia. There was the control of the state house. And there was one seat that it was going to determine whether the Republicans or the Democrats won control of the state house, who was going to be the Speaker of the House, who was going to have majority on committees, et cetera. And the two individuals running for state representative tied, it was like 8,762 to 8,762. And ultimately, literally control of I'm pretty sure it was Virginia, control of the Virginia House of Representatives went to effectively a coin toss.
Didn't you have that in New Wilmington Borough for Borough Council recently?
What was fascinating about that one was that was when I ran back in 2017, I think. And Katanya Cathcart and Karen Coulter tied for who would be the fourth seat on that board. Karen Coulter won that coin toss and then decided to step down, and Katanya ultimately ended up assuming the seat.
Yeah. But shows how important a vote is.
Yeah, seriously. How would you like to be the guy's neighbor that didn't go out? That's right, go out to vote. Only thing I have to add is that our two major grant programs right now are in full swing. That's the Chirp Program, which is for businesses in the hospitality industry. I would strongly encourage any restaurant, bar, hotel, bed and breakfast, catering facility, any business whatsoever employed in that hospitality industry to apply for that grant. That application right now is live at lawrencecounty.com. That's the website of the Lawrence County Regional Chamber of Commerce. The application itself can be found. It's on, if you go to that website on a laptop or a desktop, there's a white panel on the left-hand side. It's the second link down on that panel. And you need a Google account to apply. Those are free. They take about 2 minutes to set up. That program right now, as of 8:56 a.m., we received 23 total applications. And it's going along very well from my understanding on the chamber side. The other program that we have live right now is our ERAP program, Emergency Rental Assistance Program. which is being administered currently through Lawrence County Community Action Partnership. Lawrence County has $5.6 million in funding for emergency rental and utility assistance to individuals who were negatively financially impacted as a result of COVID-19 and who fall below 80% of the average median income. That income chart's available at LCAP's website. And you can go to that website for a link to the application portal. I want to say it's lccap.com or lccap.org. It's one of the two. But you'll be able to apply for that there. And both of these programs are heavily regulated by the state and the federal government. We have very little discretion in setting up the program. In fact, largely for both of these, we're just the administrative pass-throughs. But those programs are in full spin, and we're excited to be able to get some help to our residents. And Loretta, you're on deck last. Floor is yours.
Just to go further with that, you know, a lot of people may think that they wouldn't qualify for that rental assistance, but with the way that the scale is, you know, for the assistance, it's worth at least a phone call or go to the site to look at what those numbers are, because it's the money's there, and you may be surprised that you are available, that you are qualified for it. So, and the staff is as far as assistance and helping and gathering documentation and things like that, they handle that very well. They've done it previously with other programming that if you're eligible, they will help you walk through the documentation and getting the application moving forward. So don't hesitate to participate, or at least make that phone call or go to the website for any of the programs that we have, because we want to do as much as we can for our residents here. So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Up next, the new business portion of the agenda. First on deck, we have Director Parrish with Lawrence County Department of Public Safety for resolution for discussion of possible approval to enter into an agreement with Cummins Sale and Service for an amount not to exceed $39,356.76. Jeff, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. What do we have going on?
This is just a resolution for Cummins Sales and Service to maintain all of our generators at our tower sites here in the One Center. We previously had a 4-year contract with them. This just locks the price in. They come twice a year. They do PMs twice a year on the generators, and also once a year they do a load test to make sure that it's putting out the current voltage and that it's working correctly that we need. Anything above and beyond the pieces and parts now when they find, of course, are more. But this is just again something that we were doing year to year, and then we just found out we could do a 4-year contract before, and then they went to this one 3-year. It doesn't auto renew, so it actually expires this month. So we want to get back on the books with them to get them up and going this spring.
So just to confirm, this is $39,000 and some change for a 3-year contract.
3
Total
years.
cost is $39,000.
Yeah,
So it comes out to about $13 a year.
yeah, it's about a whole year. So that's right.
Well, it's something you got to have the generator up there. And you got to have
Absolutely.
those contingency
Sure.
services in place. I'll turn it over to my colleagues for questions.
I do have one, and you may have said it and it didn't register, so help me out here. Is this applicable to the generators at the public safety building and the generators at the communication towers as well?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, we have the generators at 7 tower sites that we have, takes care of those, takes care of the big generator that powers the whole building up at the public safety facility. And then we have another good sized portable generator that's a 70,000 generator that we can take to work too. So we actually have that covered. So if another generator goes down, we can drag it over one out.
that's the answer I was hoping for. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, we'll make that unless there's any objections. Resolution 2021-057.
057.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Up next are our joint CYS JPO, Director Miko. Resolution for discussion possible approval to enter an agreement with George Junior Republic. Pat, how you doing today?
Very well.
Okay, good to see you.
Thanks, Pat.
What do we have going on today?
This is a renewal contract with George Junior Republic, where the daily rate ranges from $82.94 to $342.68, which is been going red. It had no increases granted over the past year, nor have they asked for any. But as you can see, it's located in Mercer County, and we last year spent about just under $29,000 Using this, we're looking for a type of kid that has both behavioral issues and some mental health tied in, or some specialized needs that they can't go to a group home. It is under institutional, which we're very careful to make sure that they go there because it's a 60-40 match. 60% state, 40, where if we send them to a group home, it's an 80-20. So we're paying less.
You mentioned the kids we sent here typically have some mental health issues.
Yes.
One of the meetings that we had yesterday, and the continual meetings, was the three commissioners, Director Bout from CYS, Deputy Director Russo from CYS, Scott Baldwin from MHDS, and Joe Vanasco and Judge Acker. And the conversation was how we can integrate our human services agencies, specifically CYS and MHDS in that meeting. But one of the benefits of the mental health system is that we're able to, if we can get certain kids qualified for mental health services, we can take the funding that we require to get those kids help. We can take that from health choices or other funding streams where it might offset total costs of the county. Is that something that we're able to do here potentially?
We usually put that phone call in, so we have one kid in that program now. Scott Baldwin's aware that this is primary behavior right now, so the mental health dollars will not kick in if it's more behavior than it is the mental health diagnosis. But they both are taken, they go, and the need for placement is because we can't keep them in the community, so it's for their safety and for the community's safety.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do, we always try to plug in. Joe will tell you, we try to plug in when we probably aren't supposed to try to plug in and see if we can get them to pay for it, because it's dollars that we want to pull down.
Sure.
So, and a lot of times they'll pick up like the first 30 days of a program like that. So when they're going to that higher per diem amount you see, it's diagnostic. So once they go through the diagnostic program, then they'll better feather that kid out into the need that they need based on actuarial information.
Thank
Mental health has always been helpful with that, and same with CYS. I can say when we look at a joint kid, we just had. It's always good to find out who should be picking up the bill. I have no problem if it's our kid and we need to place it. We just had a kid from Beaver County that was arrested in Lawrence County. So we CYS has a vivid knowledge of this individual. They have a plethora of issues, and Beaver County will be getting them back after our first year.
Well, absolutely. That's always the goal. Send other counties where possible.
We get that done to us in Mercer County, it seems like.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
All right. Any questions, comments from my colleagues?
I just have one, just out of curiosity. What would constitute, what type of a placement would it be for the $342 a day?
When you get that, you're getting a lot more staff to student ratio.
Yes, okay.
You're getting a lot more, you're getting the clinical.
Almost a one-on-one type.
Yeah, Joe
Okay.
can speak to that.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
you're probably looking at the first 30 days of a lot of psychological
Yes,
testing and
yes.
things like that. When they have
Okay.
dog
We want
calls.
them in and out. So
I thought, right.
Lisa's on top of that.
Absolutely. I saw the number and thought, it just as a clarification, that just shows you why the scale goes from, 82 to 342, why it's so important to get it
Try to
there
get
and
it
do
down
the
to
proper.
82 as long as it's feasible
Yes.
as quick as possible.
Yes. Very good.
All right. I think we're in good shape. We'll make that resolution 2021-58 unless there are any objections.
No objections.
Hearing none.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Up next, Director McKinney from Department of Planning and Community Development. We have a resolution for discussion of possible approval to enter into an agreement with Zellenkowski Axelrod LLC. For those of you who don't know who those are auditors to assist with the administration of various COVID-19 pandemic-related federal and state grant funding programs. Amy, how are you doing today?
I have to interrupt because they're the lottery people too. They certify the lottery results
I
too.
did not know that. Well, that's good because it feels like we hit it.
I did for the first time. I heard it, I think either yesterday or the day before. Certified by Axelrod, Zellenkowski, yada, yada, yada. Yeah,
Corey Johnson's goes in a lot of pots.
okay, anywho,
Good guy.
yes.
But what do we have going on today?
No, this would just be for the county, like you said, to enter into an agreement with Zellenkowski LLC to assist us with administering any COVID-19 pandemic related grants we hope to receive this year, next year, from the federal government or state government. we worked with them very closely when we did the CARES Act
Yes.
funding. They're great to work with. Corey and Dan are the two that I worked with. They'll help us with whatever dollars we get in. They'll help us set up the program. And then when the time comes in, whatever we decide to do with it, they'll work with us to make sure that we're in compliance with all the guidelines.
Absolutely, and part of the reason that this is, it's necessary, and part of the thing that predicated this, is obviously the passage of the American Rescue Act. We're expecting a significant amount of dollars to flow through, to Lawrence County, as well as individually the municipality. We actually won't be serving as a pass-through, to the municipalities this time, which is nice. I'm gonna hold off, on announcing any grant awards until we receive official notification from the Treasury Department of what exactly that award is. But we're certainly expecting a significant amount of dollars to flow through to Lawrence County in the next few years related to the latest stimulus. Questions, comments from my colleagues?
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement with it.
What then would be the status of the agreement that we had with this company in 2020? Has that expired?
That's a good question. I don't, that was related strictly to the CARES Act. It was identified in
The resolution?
In the resolution and with our agreement proposal that Corey and his group submitted to you guys. This one is more general. It's COVID-19
That makes sense.
pandemic related, so.
And I'm comfortable with all of this,
Right.
but I would request that maybe if you have time,
Absolutely, I'll look
which
into
is,
it, yeah.
your time's valuable, but maybe if you consult with the solicitor to see if any action is necessary to end that prior agreement.
Yeah, I'll look at that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other further questions?
Nope.
Seeing none, we'll make that resolution 2021-59. These guys were absolutely essential to our rollout of the CARES Act last year, and we're looking forward to continuing working with them to make sure that we are able to structure positive programming and get some more assistance to our residents.
Yes.
And thank you, obviously, too, for all your
Thank
work.
you.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
always.
Have a
Thanks,
good
Amy.
day.
Thank you. Up next, this is 42, it should be 60. This was a mistake made on our end, probably specifically my end, relating to our housing authority appointment of Rick Myers earlier on in the year. Actually, I just think it was a couple meetings ago. The term of office for housing authority appointees are 5 years, which we did not realize at the time that we put forth this resolution. And so to that end, we're just amending the resolution to account for a 5-year term as opposed to a 4-year term. Any questions, comments on that? Dan, you good shape?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm gonna split hairs here for just a second, though. The action has already been taken to appoint this gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
What we're simply doing is amending Resolution 42.
Yes.
But, and again, I apologize because I'm almost splitting hairs here, but it seems as though we're now voting a second time to appoint the person.
We just need to vote to maybe
We
amend.
simply need to amend Resolution 42 to include item 2, I believe. It's almost as though we're appointing him twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I would recommend that the resolution be amended.
How would you like it to read?
Well, I would suggest that the county commissioners, having appointed Mr. Rick Myers and then his address, et cetera, to the housing authority on whatever date that may have been, parentheses, as per Resolution 42 of 2021. Therefore, be it resolved that the term of office shall be March 1, 2021 through March 1, 2026. I guess the number 1 should become a whereas, and stating that whereas Rick Myers was appointed to the Lawrence County Housing Authority on whatever date that may have been, and I was not here for that meeting.
We can figure it out.
But that would be my recommendation, because it's almost as though we're being redundant here.
Sure.
And that would, if you folks are willing to amend it to reflect that we're simply amending the original proposal
Would have been the 23rd of February.
of February, thank you.
You're welcome.
If we're simply amending Resolution 42 to accurately reflect the term of office.
No issue with that.
If you're both of,
Yes,
I would propose that as a mandatory language, and hopefully between Chris and Joe, we can clean that up if you're both
Okay.
willing to do that.
yes,
Yeah, I have no issue with
yes.
That would be my proposal to amend when we get to that point,
Mhm.
or whenever you determine.
Would you put forth a motion, we'll just do it this way, motion to that effect?
I will so move to amend Resolution 60.
Well, hang
Well,
on,
no, we're
hang
not
on.
using 60.
No, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. We are
Amend
amending Resolution 42 with Resolution 60 to reflect that the term of office for the position that's going to be held by, or is held by Mr. Myers, that item 2 be the resolved by the term of office, and that we note under a third whereas that Mr. Rick Myers was appointed to the Lawrence County Housing Authority on February 23. That would be my motion to amend this proposed resolution.
Okay, if we're amending the proposed, Chris, you got all that?
Yeah,
All right, I'll take a second.
Second,
We have a motion and wait, we don't even need to do that yet.
no, we're not ready
It's
for
just,
that.
but we have the mandatory language in place, and we don't need to make a motion right now to that effect. We'll just vote on it as Dan, as you stated, when we get to the voting portion of the agenda.
Would need to just erase that first line as well? Because
You
there's
know,
not an
you-
opening.
You're right. You're absolutely, the first whereas, the opening has been
Right.
filled.
I think the whereas it should be the second one, whereas the Lawrence County Commissioners filled a vacancy on the Lawrence County Housing Authority. And now whereas the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, having appointed Rick Myers, yada, 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 yada,
Here's what we'll do. Instead of trying,
clarify the term of office.
instead of trying to
Hold off on it.
well, not even hold off on it, just make a motion, resolution 2021-60 having the effect of, and then we'll get the language drafted after the meeting.
That's fine with me,
So,
as long as
okay.
we have a consensus to do it that way.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that way
We're
we
good with
we
that.
don't have to screw around with our
Absolutely, yes.
procedural BS.
But
Yes.
I appreciate your indulgence with this.
No, that makes sense.
But when the time comes, that'll be resolution 2021-60. We'll make a motion to that general effect, and then we'll just pull language together after the
Okay.
meeting.
Thank you both.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, thank you.
Up next, resolution for discussion, possible approved entering an agreement with Allison Park Contractors Incorporated for Bank Covered Bridge project. These were the bids that were opened last week related to Bank Covered Bridge, in repairs and, restoration to that bridge, which is located in Wilmington Township. Resolution reads, Allison Park Contractors is authorized to complete the Banks Covered Bridge project as specified in the attached construction agreement, contract amount being $440,000. I'll note this has been reviewed by the appropriate administrative officials, including the solicitor, controller, and Taylor Engineering. Your questions, comments?
Please, I'm certainly for this. I'm glad we're moving forward with this.
Yes,
If you're both in agreement, I think as a courtesy to the Wilmington Township supervisors, might not hurt for us to either send them a copy of this resolution for their records so that they know. Now, I know that our engineers will be in touch with them to determine if road closures are needed or detours or that sort of thing. But I think as a courtesy to them, if you're both in agreement, that once we approve this, it should be sent to the Wilmington Township supervisors. And now that I think about it, this second part might be premature, but I guess at the appropriate time, and maybe our engineers already take care of this sort of thing. I think they do. But I think notification to the Wilmington area school district of potential closures of that road.
Bus route.
But the more I think about it, I don't know if a school bus can travel over that road
There's no
anyway,
way.
over that bridge.
There's no way.
So
Right, I don't
it's
think
probably
so,
a moot
right.
point. Unless they
Right.
close the road further out,
A van might,
a school van.
A
Yeah. So
van.
anyway, I think next time we see Bill Humphrey, we should make certain that Bill notifies the school district at the appropriate time if any of the road closures could impact the transportation needs of the school district. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
And as long as the Board of Commissioners approves this, Bill's coming here to pick it up. as
Okay.
well, The
Okay.
resolution, so.
and I'm
get the ball
sure
rolling, so.
that they're used to that.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
For that. But I think if we could mail a copy of this to the,
Yes,
for all I know, I can't remember if Taylor Engineering is Wilmington Township's engineering firm. I can't recall. I don't know if either of you know or if you know. But they may be, but I don't know.
I'll text Dan after the meeting too.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Any further questions, comments?
no,
Make this resolution 2021-61. Up next, resolution for discussion of possible approval to extend the Shannon Creek Trail Connection Engineering Agreement, construction management support and supplement one for part one. This very simply is an extension of a current project, needs to be extended due to delays that occurred during the completion of the project due to ongoing negotiations, litigation with the contractor regarding liquidated damages. So all we're doing is we're extending basically our grant agreement with, we're extending the Neshannock Creek Trail Connection Engineering Agreement to account for those delays. Questions, comments?
Could I ask, once again, I know I'm splitting hairs here, but under the number one, we're under therefore, where it says, oh no, forgive me, strike what I just said, I'm fine with this. I was misreading it and I'm fine, thank you.
Any further questions, comments? Make it 2021-62. This next one is an amendment to Lawrence County Government Employee Handbook relating to vacation days and personal days. The amendment reads, vacation days are to be used by during the calendar year, and I'll note this was prepared by the solicitor, this language, of which they are earned by December 31. A maximum of 5 vacation days may be carried over the following calendar year, with anything in excess of those 5 days to be paid out to the employee in an amount equal to his or her hourly rate, or $150 per every 8 hours of vacation time, whichever is less. Employees shall not be paid out more than 7 days, 56 hours of vacation time. Vacation that's carried over must be used by August 1 of the following calendar year, where they will expire. Then it gets in language related to personal days, which stays constant is what it used to be. This was predicated by the significant amount of money that we're paying out right now in vacation payout. And the hope is that in amending this policy, we can start to tackle what is looking to become, and how it has become, a significant fiscal problem in the county. Questions, comments?
I just want to make certain,
clarify,
I want to make certain you have your comfort level, because I know in some of the preliminary
Yes.
discussions,
yes,
you had expressed some concerns, and
Right.
I just want to make certain that particularly you have a better level of comfort, but I'm anxious to hear what your thoughts are.
no, I'm good with this. It was just a clarification that I wanted to have as far as the number of days carried over and the pay. And also that it's not, it doesn't pertain to this year. The days on our, I don't want there to be any confusion with anyone.
So
They have to use their days right now by March 31st, April 1st for this year from carryovers from 2019
yeah, just to clarify, it would
This-
pertain to vacation days given during this year.
for next
And then they
year.
would either get paid out
Yes.
in 22
Correct.
or so
Or
days.
take those days
Yes.
with a limitation on those, yes. Yes,
Good, otherwise you're good.
yes. I just don't want there to be confusion of anything going on for this year. Yes. And Dan, you
Well-
go ahead.
And please, if I'm missing something here,
Go ahead.
just flat out tell me. If we enact this today, one of the pieces of language in here is that, let me find it.
You talking about the August one, Carrie?
Yeah, if we enact it today, someone could say, well, now I have until
Well,
August
that
1st.
was the clarification that I wanted to make sure of. Maybe we hold off on it
Well, it's-
until next month.
It's actually easier. All we'll do is put in a second part saying that this resolution shall take
Take
effect
effect, April 2, or maybe to play it safe, April 2 of this year.
That's
Is that good?
fine. That's good, yes.
April 2
Yes.
and shall apply to vacation days granted in 2021.
That works for me.
Yes.
So it takes effect April 2 of 2021, and then what was the second thing you
And
said?
applies to vacation days granted by the county to non-union employees, non-union management employees for 2021. That way no one can argue that, vacation days are prorated before April and, you get out of that mess.
I'd like to use the word earned, vacation days earned rather than granted by, if you're
Nah,
so
'cause
willing.
The language in the company, the reason why we're able to do this is that the language in the policy, they're not earned days, they're granted days.
Okay, that's what it says, then we'll be consistent.
Yeah, because there's
Alright.
there's a big legal distinction there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that amendatory language.
Beautiful. Chris, you got that?
Okay.
But again, I'm going back to,
Yes,
you had some
yes.
concerns, and
Yes,
as long as you have a level of comfort,
right,
then I'll have it
Yes.
as well.
yes.
Okay.
Great.
Mhm.
Make that 6-3.
And the fact needs to be made clear as it relates to next year is that employees will have more time for utilization of carried over vacation
Yes.
days.
Yes.
They'll have a few extra months in which to
Yeah, to
utilize
use
those
that.
days.
Mhm.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely, thank you. Up next, he's been waiting patiently, Director Hardison, for resolution discussion possible approval and enter into an agreement with White Realty Advisors, LLC. JR, how you doing today?
Pretty good yourself.
Good. What do we have going on here?
In front of you is a resolution to enter into a contract or an agreement with White Realty Advisors to perform a professional service in the appraisal of the former Medusa or some CMEX property down in the Wampum Borough. They filed an assessment appeal this past fall, to which the board denied the appeal, and it is now in the College Police Court. And the Mohawk School District, Wampum Borough, has already agreed to enter into an agreement with the White Realty Appraisers to help assist in being our expert witness. These type of properties are few and far between, and especially this one being a white elephant. There are not many county assessors that have the experience to put a valid value on it. So that's why it is being considered an expert witness professional service to bring someone else in. Mr. White has a reputation throughout the Commonwealth of industrial properties like the back of his hand. So one of the reasons why the 3 taxing bodies chose him. We did send it out to 4 other appraisal firms. We got 2 responses back, and these were the 2, and this is the one the school board and the borough, myself and the solicitor decided upon.
Great.
The one thing in the resolution that I may have not clarified, the cost is not to exceed $8,000, but that cost is split between the 3 taxing bodies, proportionately based off the tax millage. For instance, out of the $8,000, the county's responsibility would be about $2,480. Mr. White includes his first day of testimony in this $8,000. If we were to go to a second hearing or any other above, we would then have to pay him an additional fee.
Sure.
The other appraiser firms, we had to pay additional money to solicitor to testify on top of the report. So that was one of the things that caught me in his eye. His testimony is coming almost like free compared to everyone else.
Well, I'll say this, this specific property, depending on which way I don't know if the appropriate word is reassessment, But depending on which way these board hearings come back, more so than the county and more so than the school district, has the potential to absolutely kill Wampum Borough in terms of its ability to generate revenue to fund its services. And so to that end, I think it's extraordinarily important that we take a very hard look at this property and do our due diligence. And if that due diligence costs the county level $2,400, I'm more than okay with that to try to safeguard Wampum's fiscal future.
Yes. And I do want to put on the record that both Mohawk approved this contract on March 9th and Wampum Borough did on March 8th. So as practice, I don't come to you until the other two taxing bodies already do approve any agreements.
Questions, comments from my colleagues?
I'm fine.
I'm not going to suggest any changes. But I want to just note for the record, just for clarification purposes, some people who might be listening in or might be reviewing the record might think, well, isn't Wampum Borough part of the Elwood City Area School District? A large part of the borough is, but there was an agreement reached 50, 60 years ago that designated this section of Wampum Borough be part of the Mohawk School District. I think they may have referred to it at the time as the Crescentdale section of Wampum Borough.
We designated as BBSD, stand for the Big Beaver School District.
Yeah,
And there are 13 parcels designated in that geographic area. Again, that was before me, so I have no idea who and when. And I think the Department of Education came into an agreement between two school districts to designate this area.
having gone to Mohawk, I can recall that there, and I'm referencing back to Crescentdale, which has since been demolished, but the kids who lived in the Crescentdale development, and then another section across New Route 18, where there were a handful of homes. They were in the borough of Wampum, but the kids did attend Mohawk High School. The rest of the kids in the balance of the borough did go to, and still do go to, the Elwood City area schools.
Yes.
So again, it doesn't have to be changed. Not suggesting any changes in this, but just for background purposes. Thank you again for your indulgence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll make this, unless there are any objections, 64.
And y'all need to stick around.
That's the pass.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you
You
too.
as well.
Thanks, JR.
We'll see you tomorrow. All right, up next is an administrative transfer. Very simple. We're moving $2,000 from our commissioner contingency to commissioner materials and supplies. Rationale for this being the conference. We purchased some supplies for the conference room that did not come out of office minor because it didn't qualify to come out of office minor. But we're simply moving funding back into that account to allow for routine purchases. We had to do a lot of not so routine purchases and getting the conference room up and running. Questions, comments? All right, we'll do the administrative transfer, loop back around, amend the agenda, vote on the resolutions, call it that. Sound good?
Yep.
Good.
All right, I'll take a motion to approve the administrative transfer.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. I'll take a motion to amend the agenda, allow for voting on resolutions 2021-57 through 2021-64.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Resolution 2021-57, now therefore be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, authorization is given to execute on behalf of Lawrence County Department of Public Safety all documents related to common sale and service plan maintenance agreement to provide a 3-year agreement. Common sales and service will perform the services not to exceed a total amount of $39,356.76. Do a motion.
So moved.
Second. The motion is second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spillvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-58. Now be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, the purchase service agreement under provider George Junior Republic in Pennsylvania shall be in effect for the period of June 30, 2020 through June 30, 2021. Costs are only incurred if the provider or services being used by Lawrence County per the agreement. Authorization is hereby given to execute agreement with the following service provider George Junior Republic in Pennsylvania, located in Grove City, Pennsylvania. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-59. Now therefore be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Lawrence County Commissioners hereby accepts the proposal submitted by Zelenkovsky Axelrod LLC to assist with the administration of various COVID-19 pandemic-related federal and state grant funding programs. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-60. I'll take a motion to amend Resolution 2021-42, whereas the term of office of appointee Rick Myers on the Housing Authority Board shall be from March 1, 2021 through March 1, 2026. And our Joe and Chris, you guys can get together and wordsmith the language
Yes.
after the meeting.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Questions on the motion? Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-61, now to be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners and Allison Park Contractor is authorized to complete the bank covered bridge project as specified in the attached construction agreement. Contracted amount is $440,000. I'll note this is being taken out of Lawrence County's Act 89 fund, which is not general fund dollars. Those are transportation dollars passed through to us by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-62, now that be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, the agreement with Frank V. Taylor Engineering shall be extended to September 18th, 2021 for the Part 1 construction management support and supplement for Part 1 of the Shannon Creek Trail connection. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-63, now to be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Lawrence County Commissioners authorize the update of Lawrence County Government Employee Handbook to read as follows. Amendment to 401 vacation personal days, vacation day, I'm not reading that. Part 2, this will be added to it.
Yes.
Will state the amendment, this amendment takes effect on April 2nd, 2021 and applies to all vacation days granted by the county for the year 2021. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We just saved about $25,000. Resolution 2021-64, now that can be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. The professional services contract given to execute an agreement with the company listed below, White Realty Advisors LLC, located in Mount 305 Mount Lebanon Boulevard, Suite 215, Pittsburgh, PA 15234, on and 2, authorizing Chairman Morgan Boyd to sign all documentation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Your motion is second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Chris, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yep.
Motion carries.
Thank you. No ordinances on the table for introduction or final action. Next regularly scheduled commissioners meeting, we're skipping a week. It'll be on 10 a.m. Tuesday, March 30th, 2021 in this room. There will not be a meeting next week, Tuesday, March 23rd, due to the CCAP virtual conference. We certainly look forward to coming back on the 30th Webb County business. I'm looking forward to the day when these conferences don't have to be virtual.
Correct. Absolutely.
Any further questions, comments, points of order, business order from my colleagues?
No.
All right. Again, public comments. Just submit them to mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. That's mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. Subject line, so we know to incorporate it or not incorporate it. Public comment, just because we get questions all the time from various constituents. We usually just answer those. But if you want it into the record, we can certainly do that. With that being said, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Motion to second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side. Lawrence County Board of Commissioners is adjourned.
isn't bad for